Shake away, girl.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Happy Thursday. How
Happy
are you?
Thursday. Grand. Yeah.
Good to see you.
It's been a very fast week, hasn't it?
Unbelievably. And I took Tuesday off because I was working all weekend in the truck and stuff. So I took
Oh
Tuesday off.
yeah.
So I've only had a 3 day, two and
Yeah,
a
so,
half day week for the clients, like
so it doesn't feel like tomorrow's Friday for you at all.
at all.
Hmm.
Like at all. But look, that's why I'm here today now, stressing off my tits, trying to get stuff done, trying to get work done.
Yeah, fun times.
I took a plunge today. And I signed up for an annual contract with HubSpot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
For everyone out there,
Yeah.
90% off with Republic of Work members. If
Oh,
you
get
join Republic of Work,
away.
you get 90% off.
Oh,
So
wow.
like
Well,
that.
okay. So you didn't really take a massive plunge then. You took a
Yeah, it's
little dip, like,
130 euro a month.
okay.
It would
Jesus.
be 1,000 euro a month, like, do you know what I mean? Or
Okay.
whatever it is. So yeah. But I'm
Wow.
kind of getting to grips with it. But the stuff is just unbelievable what it does. Like, it's just the software is just have you dealt with HubSpot before?
I literally very high level, but no.
Okay. I've never really dealt with CRMs and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Here and there
Now,
I have.
Salesforce, yes, but HubSpot, no. But I've heard good things about HubSpot.
Yeah. I say I'm going to try it and just because I have everything up there, so like I can do all my scheduling from there for all my clients.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just the one-stop shop. I can track everything or trace everything, and I
Hmm.
have to. If you're listening and you have any tips or tricks for me for HubSpot, let me know.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. And it's great, especially for like lead generation too, and
Yeah.
just even funneling all that, being able to manage it.
Yeah, exactly what we were talking about earlier before I press record was that I'm growing out the agency, and
Hmm.
obviously sale leads and funnels and all that kind of stuff, excuse me, are very, I'm at that age where I talk and I burp and it doesn't seem to stop. I just keep going. That dad age. Well, and I'm that age now. I'm that person.
Gorge.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. That well, keep us posted. You might convert a couple of us.
Well, especially if you're like 90% off is 90% off. Like, if
Yeah,
you're
it's
a
very good.
Republic of Work sponsor of the podcast, just saying,
Hmm.
just saying.
Just saying.
Talk to me. What's your crack? How's your week gone?
Yeah, it's good. Like it's after Easter now, so all the Easter activations are finito. And it's just that kind of a nice time before we go into hopefully the ease of lockdown as well, and people kind of start going back to business soon.
I have an interesting one for one of my clients. We're doing huge campaigns for them at the moment, and we're driving massive traffic to the website.
Hmm.
Massive traffic to the website, but not one person's buying. Not one person's buying. No,
Yeah.
they're quite niche, but I'd still expect for the numbers we're driving. We're talking 20,000 plus in the last 2 months, like,
Yep.
and there's still nothing. Now we delved a small bit into their website, and we're seeing a lot of keywords aren't right, and like a lot of
Mm.
links are dead here and there. But like, it's interesting in the scenario of why I brought it up was
Yeah.
like the argument is when I go to meet them at the end of the month is I've done my job.
Yeah.
But how do you say that to them without being a prick? They're
No.
still saying we've spent thousands of euro and we've seen nothing back,
Mm-hmm.
but I've done my job. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got them to the door.
Yeah. And look, it's something we deal with all the time in digital marketing, and especially on the performance side is you target the right people, you get them to the right place, you're using all the right tools, you can prove that the traffic is there. But that's why I like to look at analytics as well. And I kind of almost demand access to analytics too, because I look at customer journey and I'm like, okay, well, if there was an extremely high bounce rate from, we'll say, ads, then I'd say, okay, well, look, that's on us or that's on the ads because maybe they were like misleading, or maybe they were just targeting people thinking they were getting one thing and they were getting the other thing, which is very rare that it happens, but that's the only thing that really can come back on you. But if I notice that like people spend a duration of time, or especially if they have like Hotjar, which is a really good kind of visual analytics kind of data point measurer, you'll be able to see the journey, right, that somebody takes when they are finished an ad. So it's like, is the sales page there? Is the funnel on the website? Are you taking them to the right, like, obviously, you know, as you said, like, it's the same with dealerships or whatever. If you can bring somebody to a dealership, like, you can't sell a car online, but you can bring them to the dealership, and then it's up to the salesperson then when they get there to convert. So they should kind of, like, people should treat their landing pages like that too, or their websites like that too, where it's like, is it ease of access, or is there a unique selling point? Are things overpriced? Are you making it easy for them to purchase and add to cart? And, like, have you bought something on your own website recently and seen what it's like to be a customer? So I totally get it. Sorry, you
Yeah.
were saying something and I totally just went off on a
Not at all.
tangent there.
Not at all. Like that, they're like the website. Yes, it is kind of big ticket items, but at the same time, it's the kind of, it's so niche that the targeting we're hitting is, it can't be anyone else. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, it can't be just Billy down the road or Mary. It's and the targeting we're doing. I wrote down Hotjar there because I haven't heard of that, so I'm going to check that out. But I do have insights at the back end, like bounce rates between 65 and 75%. So, and there's 40 seconds to a minute on the website, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I'm just kind of lost. And then I'm trying to talk to them because obviously they want, like, they're with me now 3 months. So, like, obviously they should be starting seeing results now, but it's frustrating.
Oh yeah. And that's, and I know, and that happens, right, in agency, where after a certain grace period, it's like, okay, like, you know, the results. But I think that it's really important to make sure that even there is that kind of, like, KPI conversation, right? Where it's like, what were the deliverables and what are the things that you promised or that you agreed upon? And it's always that they'll be like, okay, yeah, well, we got traffic, but we didn't get enough likes, or, oh, we got loads of likes, but we didn't get this. And it's like, well, what was the deliverable? And I think that that's really important to be able to say at the start, so that you're not, like, I'm very wary about, like, over promising and under delivering. And I get that, like, people's behaviors change. And also, especially if you've never worked with a client before and they go, well, what results are we looking at? I never say what results they're going to get, because you don't know, like, you don't know anything about their business, their audience, their customers, their content, like what their plan is, how much budget they have. So it's always like a case where it's like, I usually say you get really good learnings after 3 months anyway, and then you can really kind of gauge results from there. And then you're able to be like, okay, let's start using benchmarks, or let's start doing this. And then it's kind of that kind of a way. But I know that sometimes if it's somebody's first time advertising, they're like, okay, we spent, like, you know, 500 or a grand, like, what do we get? And then if you're like, well, you got traffic, and that's what we said we do, we get them to your website. So I get that, like, sometimes they can be like, oh, I thought I'd get way more out of that. And
yeah, I know what you mean. And that's what it is. Like, if you are a marketing student or marketing freelance, whatever it is, like, it's vital at the start to say to the client, like, what is a success in the first month to you? What would you class as a success? And then say as well, after 3 months, what do you class as a success? What are you expecting from us? Because if they go, well, I want 50 grand in sales, straight out the gate, you can call, look, that's not going to happen. This kind of stuff. Do you mean I want 1,000 new followers? Maybe it all depends on what we're doing and kind of what kind of campaigns we're doing and stuff. But, like, it's very important. And again, I only not recently learned that, but, like, what am I? January. I'm only 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months going. So, like, even I learned that one or two clients, I didn't have that written. I didn't have the brief together that that, and it's like it's so vital. Like,
yeah, it is
vital.
Good bit of advice there now for people.
Yeah, that's the first time we actually did deep advice in a while.
Yeah, usually we're like, look at the state of you.
Headlines, not much happening. Not much happening. Did you look at it?
Well, I've used a couple of remixes and I've been playing around with them, and I find, like, even the couple of people I've said to use remixes too and test, like, their views have been way more. So it's,
you tagged us. Apologies, you tagged us, but I didn't see it until
nobody got the notification.
What was that about? You over tagged or something, or what?
Yeah, I think so. I tagged, like, a couple of people to try and remix the reel, because the few people who I shared it to in DMs, when they did it, like, their views were, like, sometimes double what their follower numbers were or what they normally get on their reels. So it's hot right now. Like, remixes are hot right now, and they're a good thing to test. If you can remix something that makes sense to your business, then I'm like, just try it, because again, it's a new feature with Reels, and like that, they'll want to get more people using it. So if something makes sense to your business, absolutely remix or start a challenge.
Yeah. Start a damn challenge. I saw the headscarf one going around with Noggin.ie and a few others.
And Orla McAndrew
Orla,
catering.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, amazing. Such a
Have
good
you
idea.
had Orla stuff, the food?
Yes. She actually kindly sent me catering when I started my business first, when I lived in Cork City. And she sent me like this lovely share box, and I was like, I'm going to eat the whole thing. And it was absolutely delicious. And even though it was like such a large quantity of food that I ate, like I didn't feel crap after it. So
Yeah.
there's some really good stuff in it. So yeah, no, she's spot on, to be fair.
I got a gift, a great gift. I got a €60 gift card for Christmas. I was like, what a call.
Oh,
Like dinner for 2 or 3
nice.
nights. Like, that's a great
Yeah.
gift. You know what I mean?
Food is an amazing gift.
Yeah, and those incredible eats, those strawberries with chocolate. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hungry. I can tell I'm hungry. Dinner time is near.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok adds new music triggered visual effects tool. Do you see this?
Yeah, so they're really like, their editing suite has become so much better, and they are after releasing more tools for how to edit videos and like do transitions, and like they understand, like obviously like editing to music is huge, and they're even bringing out like their actual auto captions, so people don't have to type their captions all the time, which is like, oh my god, the stress of it. Like, so they're really kind of moving to keep people on TikTok, I suppose, because they know that now Reels are kind of becoming a little bit more competitive to them. So they're like, oh, let's make ours better. But Reels still don't hold a flame or candle or whatever that's called to TikTok.
I was chatting to a fella in Republic of Work. I won't name names, whatever it is, but he edited a 30-second proper video he shot. Did I talk to you about this already? No, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah, but I don't think we talked about it on this.
He edited in Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was like his phone kept crashing. Instagram just kept crashing on him. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, buddy, why don't you do it in TikTok and just remove the watermarks?
Mm-hmm.
But look, he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Did you see the new? Well, it's not the new. It's what I've only recently seen it on TikTok is the tags. So like I watch like Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports and this kind of stuff where they can tag like the name of the podcast. Have you seen that? Or like if it's a yellow box above everything, you click it and then it brings all the clips that have been tagged with that tag.
Like a little sticker.
Like a little sticker.
Yeah. It's not on, it's on very few though.
Yeah, it's only big names as well from what I've seen. It's basically a tag, is it?
Yeah, but I honestly don't know much about it because I haven't really seen much of it. But they're doing the same with like the Q&As, and there was another sticker I saw recently as well, a Wikipedia one.
Yeah, I've seen that one before as well. That's been there a few months, but I just because I thought it was cool that I can just go back and look at all these different clips because they did some fund and it was kind of videos of him talking to people who were helped by the fund.
Yeah,
and it's cool just to be able to segment that off and.
Oh yeah, and I think even the fact that it's like, the just watched one. The just watched feature on TikTok. Oh, I'm so grateful for that, because when I want to like see part 2, even though I hate when people do that, but when I want to see like where it's like, again, I'm running out of time, part 2, and you're like, and then you should go to their profile, but you're like swiping for ages, and now it says just watch, so you can be like, oh, the next video is part 2. Yeah, great.
That's my room 101. Remind me of that, would you? TikTok.
Okay.
There's a thing. Yeah.
We are recording, you know that.
I am recording. Yeah, but that's fine. This is how it works.
Okay.
Viewer, remind me of that. There again, Facebook tests new page labels to help provide more context on posts. Exactly what we said. They're seen to like nothing crazy, just kind of admin-y stuff, nothing kind of big.
Yeah.
News like don't care.
Do you know anyone using Facebook dating yet?
No.
Oh, I really want to know.
No.
I'm so intrigued as to like what it looks like, but I don't want to appear on it.
That's definitely like a 40 plus though, isn't it? We're not seeing that kind of audience, are we?
No.
We're not like.
No.
No. Yeah. Do you have a pro bono?
I do. Hang on there now 1 second and I'll get her for you. Okay. So this lovely person reached out and she was like, judge away. Like, she's really harsh on herself, I think, the way she was talking about her page. But let's have a chat about it. I think she valued herself, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's no confidence in her page, and like I'm like, girl, like you're actually flying it so wished. Her name is Leslie. Sorry. So the Instagram account for all of you listening along, the Instagram account is fifth wall 5th wall color consultant. So she's a paint specialist and color consultant. Passionate about all things interiors.
Fifth wall interior design.
Fifth wall color consultant. But the fifth is the 5, so 5th.
Oh, okay, that's where I went wrong. FT, even though you said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you, bro.
Fifth wall color consultant. And because I've kind of had a look at the bits, I'd love to get your first impressions on this page.
Okay, so fifth wall color consultant Leslie Kelly. Hey Leslie, hope all is good. First off the gate, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I'm seeing colors, and that's just because the colors is popping. I'm like, yes, I love it. I'm on my laptop now because my phone's recording. I'm seeing a lot of pictures and not enough videos, if that makes sense. I'm not seeing clips. I'm not seeing reels. Like with these colors, she's obviously an interior designer. So like that kind of idea where she'll go in and she'll change a room over, basically, is it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd say it's one of her passions anyway, is interior design, but I think her main thing is the color consultant.
Okay. Like you have so much to work with there content wise. Like you can, if you are doing a room over, obviously time lapse it. You could do just, people love seeing the back and forth of, you know, that kind of just peaceful, calming painting kind of feel.
Yeah.
That's how I would go. I would, even is a nice idea. Like if you wanted to an online color consultant, it could be an option where, like a pro bono for your company, like we do, you could do it for companies that they submit something and you could do a color palette for them.
Yeah.
That would help with their brand and how that would work for them.
Yeah.
And again, it's just a way of getting your name out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously if they're redoing themselves or they're redoing their shops, they'll go, oh, she helped us with that, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, it's I'm not like, first gaze rating is probably a B plus. Like I don't.
Oh wow, we're grading now.
I like that. I just came up with that, but it gives a nice idea of where we are. Like,
yeah.
B plus. Like I don't think it's bad at all. And
yeah,
the fact she's not confident in it is crazy because I would be super confident in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So from my perspective, the fifth wall color consultant, if there is a logo, it should really be the profile picture, or else yourself. If it's just you, Leslie, put a picture of you and maybe your logo somewhere, or a bit of your brand colors present somewhere, because you are your brand. And I know, like, obviously there's like videos of you doing your thing, so I don't think that you'd be too uncomfortable having a photo of yourself there. Love the highlights. The highlights are just stunning. They really stand out in terms of like color. I don't think that the account is a business or a creator account, because there is no contact button, and there's also no URL, like there's no actual link there. So I feel like your account is probably neither of those. So it's probably not a business or a consultant or a creator page, which means you probably don't have access to your insights. So I would say switch to a creator account potentially, more than a business account, because if you are kind of going down the route of like reels and remixes and trying these new things, that you'll have a lot more freedom when you have a creator account, even for things like music. So I would add that. And I think once you have insights, then you're able to really look at what content is working for you in terms of your reach. And even if you have, like, you probably don't have like a contact form, or like if you even have maybe like a Google form set up for people who might want to reach out to you, that you're not kind of flooded in your DMs all the time, that maybe you can link out to that form too. So it's just kind of alleviating a little bit of DMs. I like the fact that the kind of more peachy tones are coming into play as of late. I know it kind of seems like a bit of a themed page where like a lot of greens were used around March, and then it's kind of moving into yellows, and now it's kind of moving into that peachy tone. I quite like that seasonality. If that was unplanned, then it's a nice accident. But I think definitely keep on that kind of vibe of like theming your structure of your feed. I do think obviously if you are doing things like IGTVs or reels, to be conscious that when they're in your feed that they stretch as a cover. So maybe creating your own covers for your reels and your IGTVs as well. Just because the Easter one is a little bit out of place just on the feed in general, it looks a little bit pixelated. But I do think like the pictures, like even the quality of the IGTV videos, like they're quite good. They're obviously shot on a good phone. But yeah, so like those few things even just now to like be tapping into to be able to get your insights is just so valuable to be able to use them as well, you
Yeah.
know?
Do you think Leslie could work with one font? Do you think the several different fonts is throwing people? Like it's just because you're scrolling down and you're seeing several different fonts on different tiles.
Yeah, so that consistency of branding, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
just
is an
the
opportunity.
pick the one font that you like and work with that.
Yeah.
Like what you could do is there's a website called beautiful.ai and you could do up a little free ebook on examples of color palettes and color what you do for a living and stuff. And what you could do then is, as Mira was saying, build a form out, a Google form or a
Hmm.
type form,
Yeah.
and collect people's data, and in return they get that free ebook. Instead of even exactly, it's instead of doing like the pro bono thing with the free branding or with the free color palettes, of saying
Yeah.
do a free ebook.
Yeah.
That way you're
Get
collecting
leads.
data, you're getting leads, you're getting emails,
Yeah.
and all that.
People are
It's
getting value.
exactly, they're getting
Yeah.
value. Set up a type form, and then it's a back and forth, and then that could lead to more sales for you as a consultant, which is
Yeah.
name of the game.
Exactly. And I think your IGTVs are obviously a good way of you showcasing your expertise and what you do. But I think that like translating a couple of those into a short and quick and shareable reel will be great to do, and will kind of make a difference as well for your feed, so that all of your advice isn't kind of just hidden into an IGTV.
Don't be afraid of TikTok as well, Leslie. I don't know if you're on TikTok or not, but don't be, because that's like what you're doing is
Oh.
prime TikTok, like
Yeah, like
prime.
there's a trend right now where people are taking eyeshadows and they're like turning them into paint and painting with them, and I'm like, oh, class. But yeah, people love that.
Yeah. Best of luck,
People
Leslie.
love
Let
it.
us know if that
Yeah,
helped.
thanks, Leslie.
Thanks for submitting. We do have a few more to get through, which is great. And thank you for everyone. If you do want your business pro bono,
Pro bono.
pro bono,
Mhm.
contact us on Instagram or email us contentskingpodcast@gmail.com or wherever to
Us.
reach out to us, either one of us. I tend to see people who follow the podcast, follow me. And do they follow you as well? Do you get that a lot? Because
Yeah,
I've seen the notification, the Content's King, and then I go, oh, they're following all of us.
all of us. Yeah,
Every all of us.
or else they'll find them off your page and then they'll come follow me, and I'm like, oh, hey,
Yeah, so good.
hi, welcome.
But yeah, that was fun. Room 101.
I honestly, Jay, I have no prep work done for this section.
No, you're fine. I have two,
Oh, Grant. Well, then one of them
and
I
I
can
think I
claim.
think one of them will help with you.
Yeah.
But we were saying about that TikTok.
Yeah.
If you're creating a TikTok, right,
Mhm.
and you're doing a part two, it happens. It has to happen. Don't go back to halfway in the middle of the clip from the first one.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh.
Do you know what I mean? I've
Mhm.
watched this 6 seconds already.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need to see the seconds already. Yeah, it's like
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm.
just,
Just don't.
please,
Just
just
don't.
don't,
Don't.
just. Again, look, I think it's a matter. It happened to me this week, and we talked about it before the call, and it's really shit when it happens because I'm a very empathetic person, and if something goes wrong that I'm somewhat responsible for, I'm nonstop thinking about it. So
Mhm.
I had a client, we did some stuff, and they weren't happy with the end result, which we thought they were, and we kind of sat down after and said, "Yeah, you have to, yes, yes." And then we did a call and we did a post mortem of everything, and they said actually we got some negative feedback and stuff, but how do you like? Sometimes, yes, there were a few things that were my fault,
Uh-huh.
but there was a lot of things that was their fault. Well, not a lot of things. So let's say it's 50-50. There was things we said yes to and no to. Like, just again, it's so important if you are dealing with the client that these are the KPIs. This is exactly what we said,
Yeah.
because when they
Be
do go back on it, you're like, oh,
Yeah, and that's all I always say that, because just even from years ago working in agency where you want to land the client, right? So you're like, you kind of go down the route of like, yeah, oh yeah, oh 100% we can do that. And then I obviously over time you grow, right? And you're like, actually, we shouldn't be promising that, or we should probably wean or rein it in because you can only do so much, but you can't predict what people are going to do, right? So I always, when I'm like doing KPIs with any clients or when I'm starting any campaigns with clients, I never say, I'm going to get you, I'm going to increase your sales by 400%, or I'm going to increase this by 500%, because you can never predict it. But you can always say, I'm going to put you in a better position when we're finished this project to when we started the project. And anything that comes off the back of that is a win-win. So it's just to be really honest with them, because otherwise you'll have somebody who undercuts you price wise, who promises the world. They work with them for 2 or 3 months. They're really not satisfied. They've like they may have made a couple of mistakes with the spend or with the account. They come back to you and they're like, listen, any chance we can have a chat? And then they're like, look, we worked at this agency for a while, or we worked with these people for a while. They made a couple of boo-boos. Can you fix them? And we'll sort you out. So it's like, you have to be, like I always say, I'm really honest and upfront at the start, and I'll put my heart and soul into it. And I do work to very high standards myself, but I'm realistic with the clients every single time, so that when good results come, it's like a massive win.
And it's interesting. I was watching some clips. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Brand Master Academy. His name is Stephen.
Yeah.
He's class.
Hmm.
But he's like identifying. He had 10 types of clients, how to identify them, what you should expect from these clients. It was very cool.
Yeah.
But what I would say, even if you're just listening and you offer a service to someone, and obviously everything's done in Zoom these days, and a lot of people might do it, and a lot of people mightn't do it. But again, I was stung where I had to start doing it, where I just didn't, it didn't click me to do it. But if you are on a Zoom call with someone and you are having a meeting about something, follow up with an email with the minutes of the entire meeting,
Oh yeah.
of what was said, what was promised, with the KPIs, because I've had conversations where, oh, I don't think we agreed on that. It's like, we actually did in the call, and I had nothing to go back to.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you use like Basecamp, but Basecamp is a really good app for connecting with clients and writing down meeting notes and like sharing minutes, and like it's good like that. It's just having a log of everything, but an email is just perfect as well. But yeah, that's it. But it all, like, I mean, it all comes with learning and growing, but I always say, like, don't ever over promise and don't ever estimate a sale, especially sales and return on investment, because it'll come back to bite you in the ass. Even if you get a really good ROAS, but you've promised a higher one, like, they still will kind of go, well, you said this. But equally, look, on the client side of things, like if you are working with an agency or with, a consultant or somebody, to kind of understand that it is a process as well, that, if you're over expecting things too, then it's like, are you being unrealistic? And I always find that, like, the nicer and sounder a client is, the more somebody will do for them. And it's like anything, right? If someone's nice to you, then, like, you even find with anyone in the service industry, like, I tip my hairdresser, and and like there's just a couple of things that you do with people, or you're like really patient, or you're not like, or if I'm making an appointment for anyone else, I'm like, there is no panic, there is no rush, get to me when you want to. And they're the people then who reach out to me and they're like, you're the first in because you never put pressure on me, or you're the first in because you're always really kind or nice or whatever. And it's like, treat people like nicely, because some people, even I find that some people are so rude to designers and like videographers, and they're just like, I need this. It needs to look like that tonight, today, in an hour, tomorrow. And they get it back and they're like, here are all of my changes. And it's like so nitpicky. And then they give out that something's delayed, but then the brief wasn't I've seen such like rude people as well. And I just think, like, I try to, like, luckily I'm not working with people like that. Thank God. Like, I've kind of avoided them so far. But like, if you're a really rude person and you're trying to, like, basically get so much out of somebody and you're bleeding them dry and you're being really rude, like, they're just like, their energy is going to be sucked out of them every time they work with you, and you're not going to get the most out of them.
Yeah.
So You have to learn how to work
They
together
just
as
won't, yeah,
opposed
they
to,
won't want to work
yeah,
with you at all. They'll be like, oh God, every time you see your name, the email, you're like, oh no.
yeah,
Like I like we try again. The reason I was watching those videos with Stephen Huran was just because I'm so early in the game. I'm trying to identify these clients as like one client came to me recently who said he was referred to me, but he only had €500 a monthly spend, and I was like,
mm-hmm.
it's probably not worth my while to take that
Yeah,
on, as bad as that sounds,
mm-hmm.
because like they'll be content created 30 pieces, if not 45, 30 to 45 pieces, what kind of we kind of do in our
Mm-hmm.
social media monthly thing. There would be an account manager on the account back and forth here and there. It's just, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So you need to kind of just understand firstly your costs, because if you don't know your costs and you're taking those clients on of 300 or 400 quid a month.
yeah,
But if you have time, and if it's you doing it by yourself and you have three people who are paying you 500 quid a month, grand, that's perfect, because you know
mm,
exactly back and forths. You know your time, you value your time well. But I can't remember I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, it's just it's like identifying the client and just understanding that what will work with you, and don't be afraid to say no.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think you've said no to a good few people. I've yet to. I know that chap I said no to because it wasn't worth our while. But I did
Mm-hmm.
refer him to a freelancer I know who loved to get that job. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's it. And like, but for some people, I do refer it on, or it's not necessarily that I don't want to work with that person, but like when I am like, I can't personally take on any one-to-ones for a good while, and sometimes I'm just like, listen, I know digital moves fast, so I'll give you a referral to somebody, absolutely no problem. Instead of them being like, I need to launch something today, and then I'm like, can you wait until June? And they're like, no. But then others that, maybe they want something that takes a bit too long, or that I'm like, listen, it's not something that I do, or I don't, or like you want to take on work that you want to be doing all the time as well. And if it's something that you're going to be spending so long at with very little return, then I'm like, it's,
Yeah,
it's not
just
something I do. Yeah.
identify it, ping it, and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Bang bang bush.
I don't think that's the phrase.
I don't care.
Okay. Jay's
You know what
hungry.
I was saying? Play it by year
Yeah. It makes so much
for
sense.
the longest time.
Yeah. But I also get played by ear now as well.
We play it by ear is the 100% correct way to
Yeah,
say it.
and it makes sense.
Yeah, and so does play it by ear. Does it? Does play it by ear make sense?
By year, like I suppose play it
Play
by
it by
ear
year.
is kind of just like see how it goes, but play it by year makes it seem like so you have to stick with it for a year and then see how you get on next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hugs and kisses. I think that's
yeah,
everything, is it?
yeah. And also, as of the 12th, we're allowed to get out of our county. So once I'm finished lecturing next
Bro.
week, I am going to the Huck Truck, one hundo p.
Studio.
Oh well, no, because we're not. We're still in level 5, kid.
Mm, we'll talk. We'll talk.
But
Huck truck.
but Huck Truck,
Huck
yes.
truck.
Even though,
Donuts,
do you have any
baby.
gluten free or dairy free?
Would you go away with
Oh,
your
you don't.
stuff? Are you all that?
I'm on a gluten and dairy free diet. Yeah.
Well, you can have your cheat day.
Oh, it's not even. It's not to lose weight. It's actually
It's an
for my
actual
nutrition.
medical problem. Do you know what? Suffer. Have the donuts and suffer. Come here. Always good fun.
Always a pledge.
Hugs and kisses.
Okay, bye.